Aguilera.
Welcome to the Run Radio podcast. My name is Trina Rachelle, and today the artist spotlight is shining on Sabina Chantouria. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's a privilege. You've been doing music for a while. You're a rising star in the Swedish music industry. So tell me a little bit about that journey. What has been like for you? And has music just been your heartbeat since you were little?
Yeah, basically, ever since, as long as I can remember, I've been singing, creating melodies, and had this sort of passion for music. So yeah, it's been with me for as long as I can remember. Yeah, so I would say that's my main passion is music.
What all have you experienced with you sing? What other instruments have come into play along the way, if any?
Yeah, well, so I started to play guitar when I was around, well, in my early teens, but I've been playing, some piano, some like flute, and I was starting, singing in choirs was like the very first thing I did, and then I sort of discovered that I wanted to write songs as a way of expressing myself, and also, whenever we experience things, good and bad, songwriting has also been a way for me to sort of go through things, and I find it very healing, basically.
So in 2011, you came over to do a performing arts deal in Hollywood. Tell me about that.
Yeah, that was very exciting, of course. And I was 19 at the time, and it was this talent competition or talent show in Hollywood. It was amazing. It was a very, an international event. So there was like lots of different people from all around the world. And it was a great, sort of starting point to discover, to get, a network and contacts and so forth. So that was really like a
Was that the
starting.
first time you had been to the US?
Yes, it was. And that in itself was, of course, a very, amazing experience. And I loved every second of it.
Were you all alone, or did you have some family come along with you?
Yeah, no, I was alone. I was alone. I mean, I had some friends that I had met, but in terms of like family and people close to me, then I went by myself. Yeah.
So were you excited, or did the nerves overtake that?
No, I mean, I was excited for sure. I mean, very excited and nervous as well, of course, but it went well. I mean, they didn't take over, so to speak. So I did my performances, and I was happy with that. And yeah, I was just enjoying it very much. But yeah, it was very exciting for sure.
Did you go back to Sweden right after, or did you stick around at all?
It was like 10 or 11 days, that trip, and then then I went back to Sweden.
Do
So
you want to ever come back to the
yes.
States? You do.
Yeah, I've been to the States like every now and then, like for example, I was there 2014, 16, and 19. So I've been
Okay.
collaborating with music producers, directors, and so forth. So yeah, that really, I really loved it very much, and I felt very much at home. Also, I felt very comfortable in the States, actually.
Did you just go to California, or have you been anywhere else?
No, I have actually only been to California.
Okay.
But I've been, yeah, in San Francisco, San Diego, and yeah, but California, not in the other states, unfortunately. But I would love to for the future.
Have you thought about tackling Nashville?
Actually, yeah, it's been growing on me very
Yeah.
much. I mean, I very much like to explore Nashville and to go there, I mean, it's a mecca, of course, for music and country music in particular. So yeah,
What,
that's
what does
something
it
for the
mean?
future.
What does it mean to you to be an indie artist?
Um, to do a lot of the work yourself.
Right.
That is like, it's a challenge, and I mean, in a way, of course, it has its pros and cons, just like anything else, of course. But it's a lot of, you really have to put in a lot of work, and to sort of be your own boss, and I guess in a way also be a control freak in some sense, but it's a lot of work, and but it's very rewarding when you do get results. I mean, it's a very nice feeling. Yeah.
Do
But it's hard.
you see yourself always staying on the indie track, or would you like to become signed?
I mean, I would like to, yeah, I wouldn't mind being signed, for
Mhm.
sure. That would be, I mean, that's been a goal. Although I do run my own record label, so I'm very
Okay.
familiar with the business in terms of, I don't feel like I would like to give everything away. I mean, I would still like to have some sort of, I have, I mean, have my own sort of licensing and master rights and so forth. So I mean, I would love to collaborate with a label, and yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's there's a lot that goes into that, but of course that would be great also. Yeah.
There is a lot, and it sounds like you've already learned a lot and you've kind of got things laid out. What kind of important advice would you give to people that are maybe just now realizing what it's like to be an indie artist and some things they need to be aware of and to protect their music and creativeness in the process?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I have learned a lot of things along the way, and of course made several mistakes, as we all do. But I mean, and also that the business is constantly changing. I mean, I started around 10 years ago, and there's been this, I mean, it's constantly changing also. But I would say that, make sure that you don't sign anything that you're not, that, someone else hasn't had a look on. And also to make sure that you, if you collaborate with someone, and make sure that you have, if you've written the songs, the song, well, then you own the song. I mean, to just be aware of, rights and stuff like that.
Very
Um,
good, because I think a lot of people don't, they get very excited if someone pays attention to their work, and the next thing they know, they're in trouble. Not
right.
in trouble, but losing their artistic creative control if they're not
Right.
careful.
Exactly. And also one thing that I've noticed very much is that, sometimes you get these general messages where, oh, they appear as if it's, directed only to you, and it
Right.
makes you feel very special and like, wow, really? And then as time goes by, you become more sort of cynical in a way, maybe, because you're like,
Yeah.
okay, I know this was not purely for me,
Right.
you get more sort of less naive in terms of things like that. Yeah.
And you've been even performing. I mean, you've been on stage, you've been on TV, radio, working with producers worldwide. What gets you excited with all of that the most?
That's a really interesting question. I mean, I love to travel. I've always, I think it also is, as in terms of developing, I love to, meet, people from different corners around the globe, and to, because you learn a lot through that. And yeah, I mean, it's very exciting. And um, yeah, or so could you repeat the question? Just I got a little.
No, I mean, I know you've just done so much with TV and
Mhm.
radio and then
Yeah.
working with other producers. And I didn't know if there was one thing that you're really got you excited about doing that, because it's a lot of work and a lot of prep and
Yeah.
a lot of performing. So, but when you hear that, all the stuff you've done, what excites you the most to do again?
Yeah, I mean, having the opportunity to, talk about your work, because a lot of times, you create it and then you present it to the world. So the opportunity to actually talk about it and to, present it, that's what I really love also, to have, yeah, present it, basically. But it's exciting, and yeah.
Do you have a particular writing process that works for you better than just jotting down notes? Or
In terms of songwriting, you mean, or?
yeah, yeah.
Well, usually whenever something happens, be if it's good or if positive or negative, I feel very strongly about it, then I usually have to write about it. So, and oftentimes it end up being a song. So the process is sort of, it depends, you know. A lot of times it's something that has happened, or if I'm just in a songwriting mode, I might, you know, have, you know, a few weeks or months where I'm very actively, you know, writing songs. So it varies a bit. But once you get in the mode, then usually there's a lot of things that comes out. Yeah.
When you're deep in a conversation about your music, what do you like to talk about? Do you like to talk about the feelings that you had? Do you like to talk about the production involved? Do you like to talk about the lyrics that you put to paper? What's your favorite thing about that?
I would say, you know, the story behind it, probably, like the feelings that led up to that song being made in the first place. That's, but also, I mean, of course, it's so interesting because when you have your song, and I play guitar and I sing, so usually that's the skeleton of the song, you know, guitar and vocals. But then taking it to a producer, you know, having all these other creative minds collaborating and creating a production, that's also very exciting and very interesting to see, you know, how it, you know, creates, I mean, to how a production is coming about. So I mean, it's an exciting process from beginning to end. But I yeah, I have never written a song without purpose, in terms of, like, you know, that there was some feeling, deeper feeling behind it, you know. So
Well, which brings me to your single. Tell me about that and the feelings behind it.
yeah, so Echoes is this new single that I've recently released, and Echoes is a song about memories, time, and also, you know, we all have someone that is very dear to us, that's very close to us, that maybe is no longer with us. And you know how you can, you know, things remind you of that person and they pop up in your mind. And so this song is basically about that, you know, about missing someone and also appreciating time, you know, the time that we have, and make the best of it. So yeah, that's what the song is about, basically. And yeah, and there's a video, also a music video on YouTube. So that's been released as well, together with the single.
What do you have? Do you have big plans lined up for promoting this, or are you going to be jumping back in and working on new music? What's ahead for you?
Well, I've been very excited about releasing this single in particular, and it's also been a very long production journey. Even though it's a single, it's been the longest, you know, and most, you know, production-wise, it's been very long. So therefore, I'm very excited to put a lot of, you know, I really want the world to hear this song, and I'm very happy and also very grateful for the team behind it, because I had an amazing team behind me for the production of this song. So definitely I'm going to put a lot of work into promoting it for quite a bit, you know, for quite some time. Yeah.
Good. Excellent. Well, I hope that you will share your music with us when you have more. You can hear Echoes on runradio.net, and tell people where they can go to learn more about you and keep up with you.
So I'm on all the social media platforms out there. I have my website, sabinachantouria.com. And yeah, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course, all these streaming platforms like Spotify and Apple Music as well. So I'm all over the net.
Wonderful.
Basically.
Thank you so much for sharing time and telling us about your music, and I hope you'll come back.
Thank you. My pleasure.